And we are live on a little earlier time tonight.
A little earlier, but actually a little later.
Yeah, a little later. We got to give shout out to Coach Campanile in a second. But we're doing two shows tonight.
We are.
We got two specials. We got the head coach of the #1 team in the state and the #4 team in the country, Vito Campanile from Bergen Catholic.
Yep.
And then at 8:15, we are going to be doing a tribute show to Coach Drew Gibbs from Ramapo High School.
Without further ado,
let's bring him in.
Coach
He's been a trooper.
Been so patient.
He has. We owe him. We're gonna owe him 2 apologies.
Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much.
No problem. I appreciate you having me.
We appreciate your patience. We joke about technical difficulties with this show, but tonight was one for the books.
Yeah, one for the books.
Yeah, it happens. Well, you know what's funny? I had a parents' meeting last night. I was actually going to say the same thing to you. My Zoom hasn't turned off yet, though. I had a Zoom meeting last night. I was the same guy, like 3 times.
And you know what? It's like, who we holding up? We're holding up the guy, #1 team in the state. I mean, come on.
Well, don't worry about that. That and $1.75 gets me a cup of coffee at Flynn's Deli down the block.
Well, Coach, let me formally
Guys,
introduce.
you just give me 1 second. I'm finishing a text with a coach real quick.
Absolutely.
Sure. While you're doing that, I'm going to introduce you to our audience formally. We're joined tonight by the head coach of Bergen Catholic, Coach Vito Campanile. He's been the head coach at Bergen Catholic since 2018. This season, his team finished 12-0, and they were the non-public A state champions. They finished with the #1 ranking in the state of New Jersey and 4th in the country. So, congratulations to Coach for winning that very competitive bracket and conference, of course. And again, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Coach, I'll start with you. Mark Calderio saying, Coach Vito, what is up, buddy? So Mark Calderio saying hello.
Oh, that's my guy right there. Yeah, we coached Pee Wee football together about a day. Our sons grew up together. So, yeah, Mark's a good friend. No doubt.
Nice.
And Bobby Blackjack saying, I gotta mention, because we keep bugging Bobby, that next year we want you guys to be one of our first pregame. We want to do like a live high school game day from Bergen Catholic. So he said,
that would be a great event, because there's no better place to do it. I think we could pack the joint, no doubt.
All right, awesome. So, Coach, I'm going to start with this. I owe you an apology because on our show all year, I said there's no way no team can go undefeated with in that division, that someone's going to have a loss. So I owe you an apology and Bergen Catholic. And you know what? It cost me, because we do a little pick 'em every week, and I had to go against you in the finals because I kept getting yelled at saying, you better be a man of your word. You said no one's going to go undefeated. So she caught me, and we're in a dead tie. So
well, Kurt, if you think that that's the worst thing anybody said about me on a game day around here, you're out of your minds. I've heard a lot worse for some of the plays I've called.
For the record, I didn't go against you, but that's
all right.
Yeah, she did it. But I'll say this, Coach. I'll start with this. Undefeated. Obviously, again, congratulations on the state championship. But unbeaten, and it's the first time in a while, right, that a team has won the non-public A, being unbeaten. So what does it mean to win the title A, but to actually run the table and do it as an undefeated team?
Yeah, I mean, every year you go into it, and I would say here, it's been our goal every year that I've been here is to be the state champion and to win the Parochial Group 4 bracket. But we definitely felt like we had the wherewithal to do what we did this year. And I think the #1 thing I'm most proud of with the guys is they really kept their head down, and they lived in the moment. They focused on the week to week, the day to day, because as you guys said, like, the hardest thing here is if you look ahead or you pick your head up, they really live in the now, and on our schedule, you really have to be able to do that from week to week. And they had a lot of trust, and they had a lot of caring about one another. And in the end, it all worked out for the best for us.
Coach Siciliano is saying congratulations.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah.
Coach, I was wondering if you could take us through your state tournament run a little bit. Your game.
Sure. I tell you what, coming out of the gate, Monsignor, I was just saying this to a couple college coaches this morning, like Monsignor Donovan, they punched us up pretty good. We got ahead of them early. Stevie hit Saeed on a wheel route on the first drive, and he made a sensational catch for a 42-yard touchdown. We jumped on them 14-0 right away. They answered with an RPO. And then they really they kind of bogged us down on offense. I thought they kind of had our number. And it was the only time all year that I felt like the opponent moved the line of scrimmage. And they did a really good job. They were powerful up front. They did some good things. But at the end of the day, you know, that rainstorm hit, and we had to finish the game on Sunday. And when the tide turned to the next day, the team that I expected to show up showed up, and I put a lot of that onus on senior leadership and guys understanding the urgency of the situation, and our guys certainly answered the bell. So round one went really well once we got rained out that first day, and then I felt like St. Peter's was very much the same. Zion Fowler made a great catch over Daquan for a 50-yard touchdown right before half. They cut it to 14-10. And in the second half, I really felt like Ryan Butler took over the game, and our offensive line did a great job, and we were able to really move the line of scrimmage well. And we shut them out 21-0 in the second half. And not to sound repetitive, but the championship game, we definitely took a couple good punches in the first quarter. And from there, I thought we grabbed our bearings and we really controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And, Saeed really took over with some great runs, and Ryan finished it with a really fitting way for him to finish his career with a 45-yard touchdown.
Coach, you kind of touched on this a little bit already in your opening remarks with Kurt's question, but I wanted to follow up and ask what it's like. Two of your three opponents in the state tournament bracket were teams you'd seen in the regular season, sure. So good teams that you'd seen in the regular season.
100%.
Yeah. So what's it like to have that state tournament type play all season long, like game in and game out? And how do you keep your players sharp for that?
Right. So if you look at, just take Bosco as an example, we played 7 times in the last 4 seasons. So it's kind of been like a back-to-back, and it almost like that NFL philosophy, like you're going to have to play somebody twice in a season. And as you mentioned, like being able to play somebody at such a high level twice, it's certainly not easy to do that, to beat them twice in one season. And I really thought, especially on defense, Greg Tanzer did such a good job in the championship game of changing what they do and kind of gave us some different looks that it took us a little bit of time to really become aware of what they were doing and to really have some answers for their answers. So in some ways, it's a chess match, so to speak, right? I mean, really grabbing your bearings. And because we know each other so well, I think we could kind of strategically plan advances against one another. So that's a fun part of it, like the X's and O's side of it. And then the second thing is really the physicality that's played by both teams. I think it rears its head. And we really pride ourselves on being the toughest, most physical team that's in the best condition. And I really think that shows up in the second half. Our team this year had 9 second half shutouts on defense, and I think I attribute a lot of that to what we're doing tonight, like as far as the weight room and as far as really putting yourself in the best physical condition so you can prepare both mentally and physically.
Coach, I'm going to jump ahead to a question because you kind of almost answered it, and again, you're known as a great offensive coach, and formations and and all kinds of stuff like that, throwing the ball and stuff like that. But what really stood out, I think, this year was like you just said, the physicality of your team. I mean, you guys were dominant, and we were watching that Bosco game, and you guys, and you said like Ryan just took over, and there's a couple of games where we watched this year where you guys were you were so physical. So especially like we're saying, like on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, was that your mentality throughout the year? I mean, you guys had you guys could throw it if you wanted to too, but you guys were physical.
Right. Like I'm the big guy. Like I always say, control what you can control. We can't worry about stuff that we can't control, but you can control your mental and physical toughness. So, and I think that that's something that we want to really embed into the culture of Bergen Catholic football. It's something we work really hard at. I think my brother was here before me. We have a very similar personality in that way, that we want to be tougher longer than the other team. And, you know, it's kind of, I attribute that to like our wrestling background and the way we were brought up in football. And I think that those are really important qualities that you need in everything you do, not just in football. But, you know, if you have that mental mindset that you could withstand and you could sustain, a lot of times it's going to work out for the best. And our guys really embraced that culture, and they wanted to have a physical operation every week. They wanted to get into. We really talked about like turn the game into a street fight, right? Like there was games we wanted to play the game in a phone booth. I mean, you know, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, we talk about like it's the last stronghold left in America, right? So what you get rewarded for in football, you go to jail for if you did it in the street, right? So we talk about that a lot. And I think if you look right down to our wideouts, Santino Correa, Christian Cardi, those guys are as good a perimeter blockers as you're going to find anywhere in the state. And I felt like our two tight ends when we play in 12 personnel, LaRue Linder and Jack Camo are both like they're road grader guys. And the guys up front, like, you know, making fun. I say they look like they should be running a pizza parlor in Staten Island, but they're about as tough of guys as you're going to find. You know, Joey Matone, PJ Bonastali, Quentin Lane, those guys are awesome. And then, you know, Brogna Woods and Dylan Garrity at tackle, they just all had a great year.
A couple comments real quick, Jen. A couple comments. Coach Sis is saying, tell your dad I was asking for him. We used to eat breakfast together on Saturdays. And Coach Carl Ross saying, season like this year may never be matched again. Unbelievable achievements by Coach Vito's program. No off weeks in that schedule. Couldn't be happier to a better guy.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Carl. Thanks. That's a good man right there, Coach Ross.
Let me go because you kind of had a nice segue, Coach, into my question because you were mentioning a lot of your players, and we love to give as many players notoriety on our program as possible. So would you mind just highlighting some of your players that had an impact for you on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, you know, I think that's one of the great things about Bergen Catholic. I mean, we are playing upwards of 30 players in every game. You know, our defensive rotation, and Tony DeBellis, our defense coordinator, does a great job of it. But we basically play 18 guys on defense in every game. And we're blessed to have a lot of good players, and we could kind of match personnel groups, and we've done a really good job of that. Obviously, you know, DeJuan Samuels, DJ's been a two-time All-State player for us, and it kind of starts with him in the pass rush. But I felt like Sadir Mitchell and Dominic Brogna did an amazing job at tackle, and then Christian Ross as the other defensive end. The front four, you know, guys, we were just doing some analytics here today. We started on the postseason breakdown. Over the last 2 years, our defense has only given up on the average of 52 yards rushing a game. So that's over 2 seasons. So, you know, kudos to those guys. And, you know, obviously Christian going up to Holy Cross this weekend. He's a 1AA scholarship player, and Dominic's already committed to Delaware. And thankfully, Sadir and DJ will be back here in Oradell next fall. So, you know, you always get smarter with guys like that. And then, you know, our linebacking core, we played 4 guys regularly. Malachi Mercer and Johnny Fiore were both all first-team All-North Jersey. And then A.J. Morris and Jerry Crum are just such lunch pail guys. I mean, guys that, you know, they're everything high school football should be about. So those guys, just defending the run is such a critical part of high school football, especially on this schedule. And I can't say enough about those guys.
Nice.
Coach, the Bergen Catholic tradition, if you could just, I mean, obviously everybody knows it, but as the head coach, what does it mean for you to be the head coach of such a school like Bergen Catholic?
Yeah, I really, at the outside looking in, coming in here, I had a pretty good idea that my brother was here, but once you get involved with it, just the community of people and how important it is to the culture of our school, and really just the commitment of everybody involved. They appreciate it so much. And there's just so many great people within the community that I really feel like I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. But in this run in particular, guys, I just felt like I wanted to win so bad for so many people. Dr. Mahoney, Mr. McClenny, our principal, like they've been so great to work for, and that there's such, you know, they understand that education is more than just a classroom. They understand like the holistic values of education. Like it takes it so much more the high school experience is so much more than just the classroom. And but in saying that, it's an amazing academic institution, but at the same time, I just think like the whole culture of the school is about people, really. And that, I think, is the commonality that we really all have together, is caring about people and doing what's best for our kids. And I couldn't be happier and more proud to be the coach here.
Oh, that's so nice, Coach. And that kind of leads me, which you kind of touched upon a little bit, but even I wanted to ask you about the support of the community. And your community is alumni, obviously the administration, and even the Crusader Crazies, right? So I didn't know if you wanted to talk a little bit about the atmosphere.
Our alumni is 13,000 strong now, okay?
Wow.
And you could come to a tailgate at any home game here. You're going to get over 1,000 people. I believe down at MetLife we had 2,800 people at the alumni tailgate to Bergen Catholic. So I don't think there's too many communities that have that much of a steadfast support within the program. And it really is part of the fabric of what we are. We pull for each other, not just in football, in every aspect of our school. And we take pride in that. You know, we take pride in pulling for each other. And really, we understand, I like to say, like, whatever the top that you can be at is become the best version of you. And that really, I think that is the mission of our school, is to make sure that, one, you're getting the value structure that we want to make sure every student has, but become the best version of yourself, whatever that is. And I think that guys that come here find they'll rise with the tide, and they will become a better version of themselves.
That's great.
Okay, want to do a little rapid with
Sure,
Coach?
Absolutely. All right, Coach. We like to end with a little segment we call Rapid Fire, where we do a little more quick questions for you.
You guys are going to blitz me a little bit.
There we go. There we go.
Oh, I've never used that. How did I never use that term before?
Yeah, I got to get Angeli on here to take these, I think.
All right, Coach. Biggest coaching win at Bergen Catholic?
I'd have to say the last one, right? I mean, for sure. That was a layup now.
There you go. That's it. We just got you. Here's the tough ones now. Here's the tough ones.
Exactly. All right. I hate to bring it up, but your toughest coaching loss at Bergen Catholic.
Oh, yeah. That would be the last one. The Glasgow game last year. I mean, I think I walked home from that one. I don't know if I don't know if I'll ever get over that one. So, yeah, all the state championships in the world. Oh, that was a tough one. No doubt.
All right, number 2. You coached a couple places. Now you're in Oradell. Give me the 3. It could be anywhere. It could be Westwood. It could be wherever you were, wherever you live near Oradell. 3 best pizza places you would pick if I said we want to go to 3 pizza places. What would you give me?
Well, I got to go to Nest Pizza down the block from my house. I mean, Stevie Jubel, no doubt. I mean, that's a Friday regular for me. And then, you know, I guess Pizza Town would be a good one. I mean, right? So, and then, you know, I don't know, like Sicilian pizza is a favorite of mine. That's a tough one. I don't know. And then, I don't know.
You are a Sicilian fan?
I am, big time
Coach,
Sicilian.
Roses in Garfield, you got to try it.
What's that?
Roses in Garfield.
Roses in Garfield. Okay.
Great
I don't know.
Sicilian.
Nest Pizza in Fairlawn does a heck of a Sicilian too. I
might go there Friday.
Yeah, you might want to. But
I'm writing it down.
Definitely a go-to for us. And yeah, so yeah, yeah. And then we did JP's a lot in Midland Park this year. Did a lot of our food for. So that was good. That was real good here at Bergen. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, nice. Coach, I wanted to know, what are you hoping that Santa leaves you in your stocking this Christmas?
Hoping that Santa leaves me in my stocking. I don't know. I probably need some quality time at home. I'm on the outs over there. I don't know.
The gift of
I might
time.
get in trouble for that answer, but
we're not helping the situation.
Yeah, we're not helping.
Sure.
I'm not helping myself with that answer.
Favorite NFL football team, Coach?
Miami Dolphins, no question.
You gotta be right.
Yeah. So, but I will say this: like my uncle's 57, he said it was the first time he's ever rooted against the Giants was Sunday. I rooted against the Giants pretty hard. I had no problem doing that, but you know, but I grew up a Giant fan, big time. But hands down to Miami Dolphins right now. Yeah.
All right, and our last one, Coach. What is the most used emoji on your phone?
I might be the least technical. I just found out the internet was on computers, so I am not.
All right, I'll give you
emoji on my phone. Jeez, I don't know. I do have this one go-to that it's not an emoji, but Adam Sandler doing his head in The Water Boy. I've sent that one out a few times, Bobby Boucher. But I'm not a big. That's a great question. I'm looking at my phone right now. I have emoji lists. Yeah,
we can go with the Adam Sandler meme. That's good. That's a good one.
There you go. That would be the one. Yeah, Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, there we go. Very nice. Coach, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, we apologize for our technical issues, but it was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Yeah.
And,
I appreciate you guys having me on, and we certainly hope you guys could do a pregame at Bergen.
Oh, we would love it.
We've
been saying we want to do it, and with the pandemic and all this, we're holding up. But hopefully next year we would love to do it. How could we not do it with the number one team in the state?
Absolutely. Who has a phenomenal talent.
Yeah, well, when Hoban comes out from Ohio, you guys, we'd love to have you.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate it. And congratulations on an unbelievable season.
All right. Merry Christmas, you guys, all the listeners. All the best.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.